Hey, it's Croc36, and we are contemplating a new game, Schultze and I. But I thought I would start you off here. There's a robust discussion going on in my watch topics. So, Oistello and Gamerman have an interesting game. I've reviewed, I think, about 10 rounds with them, and good time, really good time. France goes first. It pops up once in a while as a house rule, and I've really done pioneering on that. Very proud of that. Very good variant if you haven't played it. Um, and then I've got a game with my games. He's a past semifinalist or runner up in out of box, and he is very good. And I only gave him $6, and I'm playing the bad guys. This one is game two. He won the first. Andrew won the first one, and interesting game. He's got a lock on things, but it's only game turn one, and I feel fairly hopeful. Stussifer. I think it's off of Lucifer. Stussifer and I are playing a game, and it's the Axis. I'll take you into this one right here just to show you really interesting. Now, we polled and surveyed the. I queried the community about the bid system. I'm not thrilled with it. If you're a good player, there's an incentive to let the other fellow work hard at bidding up the Axis allies. I'm sorry, but being short of what you would want if you were the allies. So it's sort of the bid is gets the winner's curse. In other words, you are saying yes when the other guy is less than you would want in order to be the allies. So there's a bit of a trap in it. And the better players, the best players, almost always going to go, unless they're principled and they're trying for some sort of, all around, skill level. They can just go with the Axis because the Axis have the spoke. They have the spoke in the middle of the wheel. They have the map advantage. They have, a lot of advantages. All right, so we polled them, and the bid alternatives hypothesized by Andrew A. Gamer is if the goal is to create a more historical game, I think this was the goal of BM4. If you want to try the same thing with a bid for out of box, a few things would have to happen. Russia would not be allowed to move into China to support Yunnan. Having Russian forces in China is completely ahistorical. Two, that's not exactly true, and I did prove that in the in the thread. Additional defensive troops would have to be added to slow the progress of the Axis, but not enough to be able to advance against the Axis. These troops would be infantry and placed further out to not affect the initial Axis attacks. I totally agree with that. Love that. Larry created a bit of a dance to happen, and you have to respect that. 3 infantry in London. Love that. 3 infantry in Singhai. 3 infantry in West India. 6 infantry. I didn't see this. Uh, Stussifer. I didn't see the 6th Infantry in Venkeys. 75 in IPCs to U.S. not to be spent until the U.S. is at war. Total adjusted bid. So maybe I wasn't looking actually. There we go. Anyways, uh, fun game. I look forward to it. It looks like a good time. Okay, so I wanted to take you to a game here. Let's see. This is my game with this is my game with my game. So I won't show you too much. This is what I did. I'm aware this guy could come back at me. I bought 2 transports. I'm not an expert at this stuff. I did only take 4 guys in the Yunnan. He got incredibly lucky. I missed every one of my first initial rolls. He, of course, got 2 hits first round and 2 hits the second round. So I sacrificed a plane to get that, and then I did the move, which a lot of people do, which is a lot of the best players do, is French Indochina the first time. Sacrifice of money because he's $32. But on the other hand, you get an excellent forward position. I did this move here, which I thought was a little interesting. This is a $7 piece, but could pull them into war. It's a trap, obviously. I do have forward position on those two units, so that's interesting as well. And then I left people on the transports just in case. I wanted to try, just in case you try to sneaky Carl on me. I also positioned a healthy fleet over here, not an overwhelming fleet. And yeah, so just a little variation on the theme. What did Russia do? Russia went there. This is not the same game, by the way. This is not the game with the Andrew A. Gamer bid. This is the My Games. Sorry, I'm a little spastic right now. So pretty standard stuff. Withdrawal from Russia keeps the fighters so he can scramble. But of course, he couldn't make it anyways. So, and this is me. I am ready for action. The tank here is sort of the standard because you can get it back to action faster. This was my variation on theme to bring a lot of forces down here to try to intimidate the Mediterranean. There's still, enough that this probably wouldn't be vulnerable. This was fairly lucky. Like I said, I'm not an expert on the. This was my innovation 2. I've only got 5. I brought 2 more down to make sure there was enough in Western Germany so he couldn't do a quick invasion. All right, so that is where we're at. Italy buying, obviously only has $10, but Italy buying, yeah. Okay, so let's get out of there, and then I'm just going to open up a game, select a game, and I'm going to go back. I don't think I can get out of here actually. So I'm going to go here, and I'll show you some things. Schultze and I are talking. He's, I think, admitted defeat in the last one. He doesn't feel like it's balanced. Schultze, think probably you shouldn't have done that Gibraltar. I think that really made things pretty vulnerable. And having those 5 dive bombers off the front line and then lost to was pretty devastating. So what are we going to do for our next game? It's a house rule game, and I told them the first thing we're going to do is fix some things that seem silly. So what things am I talking about there? I'm talking about okay. Okay, Russia gets Lend-Lease even if foreign units are in the motherland. Okay, that just makes sense. There is also a rule that says that if there is a warship in 125, and even if you're not at war, that stops Lend-Lease. Now that is patently, well, I'll try not to be inflated and just say that I don't like that rule. Also, there's a rule that says that if the Italians invade Eastern Poland, the Germans can come in and still receive their bonus for not being at war with Russia. And the new rule will be Axis must be at war in order to convoy, and being on originally Russian soil without permission is a declaration of war. Also, you can only capture capital money once. The second time it would go back to the bank. This makes the recapture of France worth it for the Allies. Whereas if you do that, if you took it now, you would just be receiving the $4, and probably the $2. That's six, and then probably, seven, probably eight, nine, 10, so 11, 12, 13, maybe as much as $13. So making it completely worth it for Germany to come in here and just take back France again and again and again and again on a loop, and that's a gamey kind of. It's not beneficial. It's literally not beneficial. In fact, if the Americans get a base in Normandy, Bordeaux, and then you capture France, this base closes down. So yeah, not a big fan. Technology. We decided that we like technology, but it can get out of hand. So what we've thought about doing is, as we look at this, super subs will be available turn one, as well as airborne will be available turn one. Jet power will only be available to, you guessed it, Germany. Shipyards will only be available to the Americans. Radar is everyone. England could have this turn one. Long range aircraft will be only available after turn five, as well as heavy bombers available after turn five. Improved artillery support could be available turn one. Rockets will only be available to the Russians and the Germans. Increased factory production, nothing of note there. War bonds will only be available after you're at war. So Russia has to be at war. Improved mech will be replaced with. I'm trying to think of what that is. I forget the rule on that. Let me just check. There are notes here, game notes. Check it out. I'll just go all the way down, see if it shows. Scrambling, China. Nope. All right. All right. And by the way, there are some things which AAA does not do. So if you're playing AAA, there's what's called player enforced rules specific to the 1940. The engine does not do, but you must follow. Okay, there's some important notes here. If you want to play AAA, you should take a look at this list in the notes. Really cool. Free program, but you have to take a look at the notes. Let me just look up the technology. This search button is not the greatest, so I'm going to actually go off this and go Axis and Allies.org. I know it's kind of funny, and I messed it up, but it'll still come up, I think. Explanation of technology in Global 1840. Let's see if it comes up. And there we go. Boom. And let's see here. Sorry, blood. All right, I looked it up. And advanced artillery, each of your artillery can now provide greater support. One can support up to two, or mechanized infantry or mechanized infantry. Up to two infantry. and mechanized infantry units when coupled with 1 artillery and have an attack value of 2. So that's our advanced artillery. So the problem with that, of course, in our rules is that that's no, I guess it isn't self-propelled artillery. Um, and then here, whoops, doggone it. And then let's see, for improved mechanized infantry, each of your mechanized infantry that is paired up with a tank now has, or artillery has an attack value of 2. Well, that's always the case. I mean, it's always the case with artillery, right? So, and then, so only with tanks, it improves your. So if you've got 10 tanks, that's 10 extra pips. Also, your mechanized infantry may now blitz without being paired with a tank. Now that's significant. All right, so and that one could be anybody. All right, radar. So by the way, just a little critique. If you're really going for tech, obviously, if you're Germany, we're going to add what's called self-propelled artillery, which pair with an infantry or mechanized in order to boost its attack power to 2. And then we're also going to let it go 2, even when not paired. And this is the artillery, not the mechanized infantry. Um, so, yep. All right. So, and then rockets are reduced from um, anything above 4, 5, or 6 is a miss. So that those are some things that we're going to do with our game, I think, coming up. Let me just check our thread, our text thread, to make sure I got it all. And then we're talking about Tokyo Express. Um, LRA is not available till after turn 5. Bomber's not until turn 5. Jet power only. And then he wants jet power only for Germany. He wants national advantages like Tokyo Express. And then rail from industrial complexes equal to the value of the territory. Germany cannot rail into Soviet territories. Russia also gets Trans-Siberian Railroad, 1 unit per turn. Um, all ships can carry 1 Marine, is what I suggest. How about Marines? So they would like maybe attack it at 2 the first round or something like that. Paratroopers can be deployed in the non-com movement. So I've never understood why you couldn't deploy paratroopers in the non-com. And then rockets only available to Russia and Germany. And yeah, and he likes it. Says sounds good. Sounds good. So that looks like our rules for this game, and that I've introduced you to some of the games that I'm playing right now of this game that we love called Global 1940, and that's Crockett 36 out.